The first time I met Ryan Matthews, I never imagined his presence would leave such a deep mark on my life. I was 28, caught in the predictable rhythm of small-town living. And Ryan, well, he was the kind of man you noticed, even if you tried not to. Tall, self-assured, with a way of carrying himself that drew people in when he spoke. He wasn't just another face in our community. Ryan was the new history teacher at the high school. Though I wasn't a student anymore, my younger brother, Michael, was in his class. At that stage of my life, I managed the town's bookstore, a quaint little place my late father had opened years before. I loved books, but more than anything, I loved stories. Especially the ones people hid behind polite smiles and casual greetings. Everyone carried secrets, and I had an unshakable habit of paying too much attention to them. I was good at reading people. The hesitation in their voices, the flicker of their eyes when they spoke a half-truth. But Ryan wasn't easy to read. He first walked into the bookstore on a rainy afternoon, the kind of day when gray skies pressed heavily against the windows. His jacket dripped onto the wooden floor, his dark hair damp, his eyes scanning the shelves with quiet curiosity. He moved like someone who belonged everywhere, and that unsettled me. I had always felt like I didn't quite belong anywhere. "Do you have any biographies of Lincoln?" he asked, his voice steady and warm. I led him to the section, pretending not to notice how my heart stumbled when his arm brushed against mine as he reached for a book. He smiled, polite, a little distant, but there was something in his gaze that made me feel as though he already knew I carried secrets of my own. That night, I thought about him more than I should have. In the weeks that followed, Ryan became a regular at the bookstore. Sometimes he came for research materials, sometimes just to browse. Our conversations stayed casual at first: literature, history, the quirks of small-town life. He had an easy laugh, the kind that invited you to share things you weren't sure you should say out loud. And slowly, I started testing him, playing with secrets, revealing just enough without giving too much away. I told him things about customers, about the books that never sold, about the weight of keeping the store afloat. He listened in a way most people didn't. And in return, he opened pieces of his life to me as well. He told me how he had left Chicago after a painful breakup. How teaching wasn't just a job for him, but a way to connect with people, to feel useful. One evening, though, everything shifted. The store was quiet, the outside world slipping into twilight, when he caught me off guard. I was behind the counter, writing in my journal, not a diary exactly, but a collection of thoughts, observations, and yes, secrets. Things I noticed about people. Things I never intended for anyone else to see. Ryan entered silently, the bell above the door muted by the storm outside. Before I could close the journal, his eyes caught the words on the page. "You watch people closely," he said softly. Not accusatory, just curious. I froze, embarrassed. "It's just something I do. A bad habit, maybe." He tilted his head, studying me. "No. It's a gift. But dangerous too, don't you think? When you know things about people they never meant for you to know." My face burned. He wasn't wrong. And in that moment, I knew he had seen me, really seen me, in a way no one else ever had. That night became a turning point. What began as cautious small talk grew into deeper conversations that stretched past closing hours. Sometimes we sat in the back room with steaming cups of coffee, letting the rain or wind fill the silence between us. He confessed his regrets, his mistakes in past relationships, and his fear of repeating them. And in return, I admitted things I had never spoken aloud. The loneliness I carried since losing my father, the heavy responsibility of running the store alone, the gnawing fear that my life was slipping past me without ever truly beginning. There was desire between us. Unspoken at first, it lingered in the pauses, in the brush of hands when passing a book. But along with it came regret. We both knew that stepping closer meant crossing dangerous lines. He was a respected teacher in town. I was a woman still holding my family together. If we gave in to what we felt, there would be whispers, judgment, consequences neither of us was ready to face. And yet, we couldn't stay away. One evening, long after the town had gone quiet, he stayed to help me sort through a shipment of books. The lights flickered, then went out, leaving only the glow of candles I had lit for customers earlier. Shadows danced along the shelves, and for a moment it felt as though the world outside had vanished, leaving just the two of us. He looked at me then, not as a customer, not even as a friend, but as something more. "You're not as invisible as you think you are," he whispered. I didn't answer. I couldn't, because in that instant I knew I was standing on the edge of a choice that would change everything.